Now at 9, authorities in Carthage investigate a house fire they believe was caused by fireworks. Plus, bikers in Joplin come together to celebrate our nation's independence and freedom. And we'll head to Southeast Kansas for a 4th of July event featuring a parade and a rodeo.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. Fire crews in Carthage, Missouri last night battled a house fire authorities blame on improperly disposed fireworks. It started around 10:50 last night on Island Lane west of Carthage. When crews arrived, they found fire and smoke coming out of the right rear side of the newly constructed home near the garage doors. By the time they began battling it, the fire had moved to the roof line. The family inside got out safely. Investigators say preliminary evidence shows the fire started because of fireworks in a nearby trash can, which caught fire. The city of Pittsburgh had a wide variety of events for our nation's birthday today. Early in the morning, they had a 5K run, a fishing derby, and a pickleball tournament. Then a little later, they had a baby contest, a bocce tournament, and a $1 swim day at the Aquatic Center, all while arts, crafts, and food vendors were set up for people to enjoy.
It gives the community opportunity to come out for activities that are already planned. They don't have to think about what in the world are we going to do on 4th of July. It's already planned and it's inexpensive. A lot of our fees are less than $5 to go do the fishing derby or come to the baby contest.
This evening concluded with live music and a fireworks display. Folks in Hepler, Kansas had their own celebration today. This is the second day of their Ruritan Club Rodeo. However, there were plenty of Independence Day themed events this morning, including a parade themed Swimming Through History, a cakewalk, and kids games.
It's a great event because you have it's family friendly, so there's stuff for the kids to do. Like I said, you can support our 4-H club and the community of Hepler.
The night ended with the rodeo and some fireworks as well. Bike lovers in Joplin hung out at Hideout Harley-Davidson dealership. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
And that's the sound of freedom, according to Harley-Davidson in Joplin.
The American freedom and riding the motorcycle is your own personal freedom.
The Harley-Davidson crew wanted to celebrate Independence Day with hot dogs and bikes.
Today we're open on the 4th, which not a lot of Harley-Davidson dealerships are, so we're super thankful to be open today and serve our community. So we're offering hot dogs and just kind of hanging out with the crew, all that good stuff. We enjoy having people out and just hanging out with them.
According to the manager, Harley's been a part of American culture for more than a century.
Motorcycles, there's nothing more American than a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, right? They were established in 1903, so they've been around for a long, long time. Fun fact, Ford Motor Company was also started in 1903, so we kind of go way back, so it's nice to have that long-running establishment in the United States.
Most motorcycle lovers agree that revving on an open road is freedom.
It can be a little toasty at times riding in this hot weather, but as long as you're out riding around, you're gonna enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I love going out and feeling the wind in my hair, and it's awesome.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Hideout Harley-Davidson's 4th of July Grill and Chill ended at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Over in Carthage, residents had a full slate of activities today. It kicked off with a 5K run and a free swim day. There were plenty of food vendors as well as face painting, karaoke in the park, and a watermelon feed.
Really want all of our events is everybody to take away good family fun, bring your family out, have a bounce in the bounce house, sing some karaoke, stay at 7 and start the band that we have.
The event was hosted in Carthage's Municipal Park. 4th of July celebrations continue in Carl Junction today. The city put on a 4th of July parade earlier this morning to kick off Independence Day festivities. The parade began on Broadway and ended on Main Street. Those who wanted to participate in the parade were able to do so free of charge. Organizers say it's a great way to celebrate our country and those who have served.
Well, we just love to honor our veterans, the people who signed that blank check for their life and service to our country, and we want a way to celebrate that as a community and just get together and have a good time.
Spending time with your family, you know. Really enjoyed the time here in Carl Junction, and it's just fun time.
Prizes for those who participated in the parade were also given out. Coming up, what new data reveals about the spike in violence during the summer months. Pasteurization is effective at eliminating avian flu in milk. That's according to research by the American Society for Microbiology. Data shows the pasteurization process inactivates the highly infectious disease. Bird flu was recently infected 200 animals and 3 people in the U.S. Experts say this is a further evidence that raw milk can be dangerous and encourage bacterial growth. Untreated water by a cucumber grower is one likely source of a salmonella outbreak in the U.S. The FDA and CDC say 450 people have gotten sick and 125 people hospitalized this spring. The salmonella strain matching the illness was linked to canal water used in the soil of a Florida cucumber farm. Coast to coast, more lives continue to be lost to gun violence. But data is revealing some shocking statistics about why the summer months tend to see more mass shootings than other seasons. Fox News' Gary Baumgartner has more.
While summer is a time for fun in the sun, data from the Gun Violence Archive reveals this season is rife with shootings, citing how the months of June, July, and August have had the highest total number of mass shootings over the past decade.
It's an epidemic out here with this crime. You know, we're battling it every day.
The nonprofit organization reports that throughout the last 10 years, the 4th of July was the #1 day for mass shootings involving 4 or more people.
For my family, this 4th of July is the 730th anniversary of the total annihilation of our lives.
It's a tragedy Keely Roberts and her family struggle with every day. They attended an Independence Day parade in Highland Park, Illinois in 2022, where a gunman killed 7 people and injured dozens of others, including her son, Cooper.
Do you know how nervous Cooper is every day? Can you imagine the emotions he continues to feel as an 8-year-old who was shot and almost killed and left paralyzed?
But what's behind the surge in summer shootings? Researchers have pointed to the fact that there are more parties with drinking in the summer and how previous studies have shown that hotter weather can raise people's tempers. This comes as reactions continue pouring in from the Surgeon General's comments late last month when he declared gun violence a public health crisis.
We're losing lives, so I think it's much needed.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Social media is making it harder for young people to make dating decisions. A study in India finds social media and dating apps distort the reality of potential dating partners. More than half of young people say they felt confused about their dating options, with a decrease in social interactions contributing to the problem. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later we'll find out the winners of this year's Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Well, of course, we've been dodging the showers, the thunderstorms, the severe weather throughout the evening hours, but things will slowly wind down as we go through the next few hours. We are looking at downtown Joplin. It's kind of funny to watch the tower cam tonight because you see fireworks and then you see lightning and then you see fireworks and then some lightning. But a nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course, downtown Joplin. All right, so let's go outside, look at the showers, look at the thunderstorms pushing through. If you live on the Kansas side, you are pretty much done. It's this back edge that's got to work through. We're still getting a little bit more redevelopment once you get down into northeastern parts of Oklahoma, but all of this is working out of here. We've had several severe thunderstorm warnings. However, we're not seeing much in the way of severe weather right now, so they're just good old thunderstorms. We do still have some severe thunderstorms once you get over towards Springfield. But again, all of this is slowly working off toward the east. Let's zoom in. So here's Miami, still a pretty good thunderstorm. Once you get down to Grove and Grand Lake, we can track a little bit farther toward the east. Once you get into Berry County, pretty good band just north of Cassville, over toward like Shell Knob at Table Rock. Let's track a little bit farther north. Good thunderstorm right down I-44, so from the I-49 and I-44 interchange to Sarcoxy, all the way to Mount Vernon, all the way to Springfield. Very heavy amounts of rain. Let's go a little bit farther north. Good thunderstorm on top of Lamar at this point in time, then over toward Greenfield, then up towards Stockton Lake, and then again, things will slowly start to wind down as this whole batch is starting to push off toward the east, but some pretty good rainfall amounts with this. All right, let's go through time. Rain working east still. Showers and thunderstorms southwest Missouri by 11. And then we clear out and we look pretty good for the rest of the night. A cold front has shifted through, so our humidity levels are going to drop. So still additional rainfall along and south of the I-44 corridor. All right, temperatures mid to upper 70s to near 80 for us right now. We don't have much in the way of a heat index, which was really high for us earlier today. And if we go into your Friday, by noon, temps are going to be sitting right around 80 degrees. Once we get into the afternoon, check this out. Mid-80s for highs, so it's going to feel pretty comfortable, plus the humidity is going to be much, much lower. We're going to drop back low to mid-60s once we get into Saturday morning, and then Saturday looks great as well. We're going to warm near 90 once we get into the afternoon hours, but still we're not going to have much in the way of humidity. Here is your Friday day planner. 68 in the morning, 83 by noon, high temp 86, 85 at 4 p.m. Looks like a fantastic Friday. Most of the holiday weekend is shaping up pretty good. 86 tomorrow, 90 on Saturday, 92 on Sunday. We do have some thunderstorms rolling back in late Sunday into Monday, but overall temperatures not too bad. Anthony?
Ascension Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh is not only celebrating the 4th of July, but also some new lives. Babies in the hospital's Women's Care Center donned some 4th of July outfits that were handmade by Mount Carmel Auxiliary volunteers. Coming up, the dangers of hitting the road.
The National Safety Council warns that this long weekend is one of the most dangerous holidays to drive. So how can you stay safe? I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
Today's weather didn't put too much of a damper on fireworks sales in the region. There was a notable crowd at one fireworks tent in Springfield. Stands tell us they've been seeing a healthy number of buyers come through after being open since last month. Even today, people were still trying to figure out they wanted to pop.
It's a combination. Some people bought early and then they're getting some final touches. Some people, it's their first time having time to kind of get out and buy. And then you got some people that are still kind of going around, checking things out, seeing what we got.
Depending on where you live, tonight may be your last chance to legally fire off your stock of fireworks. We have information on firework laws and more safety tips on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Statistics show that the 4th of July is one of the deadliest holidays of the year, and poor choices are a big part of the problem. With an extra long holiday weekend this year, police and safety experts are worried tragic decisions will lead to fatal consequences. Fox's Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
Your biggest worry this long holiday weekend might be where to watch the fireworks or how to find a good spot on the beach. But the National Safety Council warns this is one of the most dangerous times of the year to be on the road. Estimating 599 lives could be lost in preventable traffic crashes during this 4-day weekend. The council says that 40% of road deaths involve an alcohol-impaired driver. Another factor? Speed.
If you slow down and if you get into a crash, your chances of survival really depends on how fast you travel. So really slow down.
Then there's the traffic. AAA projects that over 60 million people are traveling by car this week, more than 2.8 million more than last year.
It's Not so bad getting there. It's usually coming home. Maybe that's because we have less patience on the way home, but traffic is always miserable.
The traffic is something to deal with, but if you leave it a little early and adjust your time and your schedule, you can fit it in.
Even if you're staying local and walking or taking public transportation, crowded holiday events will bring more pedestrians and cars together.
I mean, I think you have to have your head on the swivel.
And of course, timing is everything. If you have to be back at work on Monday and plan to drive Sunday, AAA says the best time to hit the road is before 11 a.m. The worst is between 2 and 8 p.m. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
A federal judge in Texas delayed a ban on non-compete clauses for employees. The judge wrote the court plans to have a ruling on the merits of the action by the end of August. The ban would prevent employers from imposing non-compete deals for most already active agreements. The ban, which was scheduled to take effect in September, was approved by the Federal Trade Commission in April. The FTC says roughly 20% of all U.S. workers have a non-compete clause in their current jobs. Two of the most popular high-end department stores are joining forces. The parent company of luxury retailer Saks, Fifth Avenue, agreed to buy Neiman Marcus. The deal is expected to be worth more than $2.5 billion. The merger comes years after the Neiman Marcus filed for bankruptcy during the pandemic. The new group will be known as Saks Global. Company leaders say going forward, Saks Global will invest in technology, including artificial intelligence, as well as both legacy and emerging brands. Up next, what a new study reveals about surprisingly dangerous predators known as hippos. A new study revealed some interesting facts about the humble hippopotamus. Researchers looked at videos of 32 hippos and found they can get airborne when moving at high speeds. Many other animals are known to lift all four limbs off the ground while running. So you may ask, how could we not know that about hippos? Well, since they spend most of their time in water, tend to be aggressive, and are most active at night, studying them isn't easy. Researchers also noticed hippos almost always trot. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Why the largest school district in Kansas has to revive its discipline policies coming up. And also, President Biden hits the road to boost his poll numbers following his disappointing debate performance.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. The largest school district in Kansas must revise its discipline policies after a Department of Justice investigation. As Brandon Stitt reports, the changes apply directly to how students of color and those with disabilities are treated within Wichita Public Schools.
A 35-page settlement agreement between Wichita Public Schools and the U.S. Department of Justice, forcing the school district to make drastic changes to discipline and handling of students with disabilities. The 2022 DOJ investigation found 3 main areas of concern for the district: racial discrimination against black students in the area of school discipline, also racial discrimination when referring students to police or security, and inappropriate seclusion and restraining of students with disabilities. School district leaders now addressing the investigation and how they plan to enact the necessary changes.
There's a lot of families, African American families in our district that probably have experienced it, right, or have felt that this is real, that there are differences between how discipline has been administered.
You can't have a one-size-fits-all for any solution like this, but to really begin to engage the community, we need our community partners, our faith-based communities, to come together to really work within our schools and with us and with our students and our families as well.
The point for me is that we can and will do better moving forward, right?
In doing better, the school district plans to change their student code of conduct policy. A new district-wide office will have oversight on behavior and discipline management, and seclusion will no longer be used.
A Missouri woman is presumed dead after being swept away by floodwaters Wednesday afternoon. No barricades were present when the car entered Perch Creek and quickly became overtaken by fast-moving water. A passerby rescued the driver, hoisting them onto the roof of the car, but the vehicle was swept away before the passenger could escape. The driver was taken to a hospital for evaluation. According to Boone County Fire Protection, locals are well aware that area is prone to flooding. Rescue crews are searching the tree line for the missing woman as they wait for the floodwaters to recede.
Unfortunately, there were no barricades up at the time that the vehicle entered the water. This is a known flooding spot. This is nothing new for this area. The people that live here have seen this, so they understand it and they know it floods.
Hurricane Beryl continues its trek through the Caribbean with Mexico and southern U.S. in its sights. The now Category 2 storm system hammered the Cayman Islands as it moved away from Jamaica and left behind a trail of destruction on other islands, including at least 9 deaths. In eastern Mexico, preparations are now underway in resort areas including Cancun and Tulum. Crews battling a fast-moving wildfire in Northern California say they're making progress. As of midday, the Thompson fire near Oroville, just an hour north of Sacramento, is 7% contained. The fire has consumed nearly 3,600 acres, or 5.5 square miles, in and around resort town of Oroville. Crews are trying to get it under control while enduring triple-digit temperatures.
I stayed open so, one, people have places to go with their animals. I understand what it's like to have gone through a disaster and fire, and up here in this area, people go through disasters and fires on a regular basis.
Many of the displaced are sleeping in their cars in the bar's parking lot. The fire has destroyed several vehicles and structures. Its cause under investigation, but it started when a red flag warning about extreme heat, high winds, and low humidity was in place. The Biden campaign is no doubt hoping a long holiday weekend will offer a big reset after last week's presidential debate. New polls suggest the president may have lost some ground, and as Doug Luzader reports from Washington, the Republican National Convention is now just about a week and a half away.
With fear for our democracy, I dissent.
A fiery speech to rail against the Supreme Court, a quick public stop to talk about the weather, a meeting with Democratic governors behind closed doors at the White House. The administration and the Biden campaign have been filling the president's schedule, hoping to turn the corner on last week's lackluster debate performance.
He knows how to do the job, not because he says it, because his record proves it. Because for 3.5 years, almost 4 years, the president's record has been unprecedented, delivering for the American people.
The Biden campaign has been trying to calm donors, hoping they'll stay in the game. And the president is trying to minimize defections among Democrats in Congress.
I think he's making calls. It's been reported that he's making calls to congressional members. I can certainly confirm that.
I know how to tell the truth.
A new campaign ad sought to reassure voters, but some minds may already be made up.
It's not just the donors that count, it's ultimately the voters, and the voters are making their decision that he's way too old, and they made that some time ago.
And for some Democrats, the concern goes beyond just the White House in November.
You look at the down ballot implications here. Are we willing to take a gamble to lose the Senate and the House? We have the Senate Democrats, so we don't have the House. There seems to be an opportunity, a pathway to a majority there. Do you take that risk?
Former President Trump, meantime, is preparing to formally accept the GOP nomination week after next at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Democrats have more time, but not much, and everything hinges on what President Biden intends to do. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
A bit later, President Biden strikes a deal with another country to relieve some of our nation's immigration crisis.
Well, of course, we've been dodging the showers, the thunderstorms, the severe weather throughout the evening hours, but things will slowly wind down as we go through the next few hours. We are looking at downtown Joplin. It's kind of funny to watch the tower cam tonight because you see fireworks and then you see lightning and then you see fireworks and then some lightning. But a nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course, downtown Joplin. All right, so let's go outside, look at the showers, look at the thunderstorms pushing through. If you live on the Kansas side, you are pretty much done. It's this back edge that's got to work through. We're still getting a little bit more redevelopment once you get down into northeastern parts of Oklahoma, but all of this is working out of here. We've had several severe thunderstorm warnings. However, we're not seeing much in the way of severe weather right now, so they're just good old thunderstorms. We do still have some severe thunderstorms once you get over towards Springfield. But again, all of this is slowly working off toward the east. Let's zoom in. So here's Miami, still a pretty good thunderstorm. Once you get down to Grove and Grand Lake, we can track a little bit farther toward the east. Once you get into Berry County, pretty good band just north of Cassville, over toward like Shell Knob at Table Rock. Let's track a little bit farther north. Good thunderstorm right down I-44, so from the I-49 and I-44 interchange to Sarcoxie, all the way to Mount Vernon, all the way to Springfield. Very heavy amounts of rain. Let's go a little bit farther north. Good thunderstorm on top of Lamar at this point in time, then over toward Greenfield, and then up towards Stockton Lake. And then again, things will slowly start to wind down as this whole batch is starting to push off toward the east, but some pretty good rainfall amounts with this. All right, let's go through time. Rain working east still. Showers and thunderstorms southwest Missouri by 11. And then we clear out and we look pretty good for the rest of the night. A cold front has shifted through, so our humidity levels are going to drop. So still additional rainfall along and south of the I-44 corridor. All right, temperatures mid to upper 70s to near 80 for us right now. We don't have much in the way of a heat index, which was really high for us earlier today. And if we go into your Friday, by noon, temps are going to be sitting right around 80 degrees. Once we get into the afternoon, check this out, mid 80s for highs. So it's going to feel pretty comfortable. Plus, the humidity is going to be much, much lower. We're going to drop back low to mid 60s once we get into Saturday morning. And then Saturday looks great as well. We're going to warm near 90 once we get into the afternoon hours. But still, we're not going to have much in the way of humidity. Here is your Friday day planner, 68 in the morning. 83 by noon, high temp 86, 85 at 4 p.m. Looks like a fantastic Friday. Most of the holiday weekend is shaping up pretty good. 86 tomorrow, 90 on Saturday, 92 on Sunday. We do have some thunderstorms rolling back in late Sunday into Monday, but overall temperatures not too bad. Anthony?
Communities across the U.S. often organize beach cleanups to keep coastlines looking inviting and free of trash. The Philippines has a lot of coastline, and one town there has come up with a unique way to attract more cleanup volunteers. Leah Mishkin reports from London.
It's a well-known scuba diving destination, the Coral Triangle, the most diverse and biologically complex marine ecosystem on the planet, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
We have a lot of critically endangered and vulnerable marine wildlife here in this area.
Located in these tropical waters, the Philippines town of Mabini is seeing more and more trash along its shores each year.
I've seen sea turtles entangled in nets and other types of plastic. We've been finding more and more microplastics even in fish that we eat. So it's also harmful to us.
With the plastic waste piling up, this community organizer and his team came up with a creative idea.
We ask our local volunteers to help us clean the shores in exchange for rice.
The cost of basic items like rice has been soaring. This 46-year-old resident calls the cleanup program a huge help, saying she needs more than 4 sacks of rice a month. And with volunteering, she now only has to buy 2. The little incentive has really added up. They push themselves to clean because they get something in return, which is a big help for them. Organizers say volunteers have collected more than 9,000 pounds of trash since the initiative took off in late 2022.
Coming up in sports, the Cardinals and Royals are in action for this 4th of July. And it's another year of the annual hot dog eating contest. Brock Baldridge joins us for that story and more up next.
The Joplin Outlaws are fighting for second place in the Mid-American League standings. Joplin spends their 4th of July evening battling in East Texas. And the Outlaws are in a bit of a slump, only winning 2 of their last 6 games, but they battle the Timberhawks for the final time this season. Lots of scoring in this game, but moving along slowly. At last check, it's Piney Woods who leads Joplin 10-9. While the St. Louis Cardinals celebrate their Independence Day on the road this year, St. Louis is finally starting to create some separation for second place in the National League's Central standings. Cardinals on the road taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates with multiple players dressed in their Team USA gear. Top of the second, no score. Dylan Carlson ropes this one down the line, fair into the corner. The throw to home plate is not in time as Brendan Donovan rounds the bases and comes in to score. Cardinals take a 1-0 lead after the RBI double. 4th inning now, same score as Brian Reynolds steps up and hammers this ball deep to center field and clear the deck. Solo home run into the shrubbery out there. Pirates even the score. It's now a 1-1 ball game. This game goes into extra innings, so still tied at 1 apiece. Pedro Pages sends a rocket to center field. Outfielder can't make the play. It's an RBI double. Cardinals take the lead. Later in the inning, Alec Burleson drops into single to left field. Add that to another run to the tally there. St. Louis wins the series. Cardinals win it 3-2 in extra innings. The Kansas City Royals wrap up their final home game before the MLB All-Star break. Royals look to win the series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Royals trying to claw their way back into this contest. At the end of the 6th inning, it's Tampa who leads Kansas City 9-7. And Wednesday night's Texas Rangers game, a fan gets a little risky to attempt to catch a foul ball. The fan jumped on top of the Padres dugout, fell onto the protective netting, losing his beer and all. Security escorted the fan out of the stadium after the failed foul ball attempt, but the Padres convinced the security to let the man return to his seat later in the game. Well, nothing says like America and 4th of July like the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest in Coney Island, New York. The contest went on without Joey Chestnut for the first time since 2005. It's Patrick Bertolini who holds off Jeffrey Esper to win the mustard belt by eating 58 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes for his first career title. Well, that's your look for sports. We're back with more news after this.
President Biden's latest action on the southern border appears to be having some effect. Fox News national correspondent William Lejuenzi looks at the number tonight from Los Angeles.
This is downright Trumpian.
In a policy reversal for President Biden, the administration Monday struck a deal with Panama to intercept and deport migrants before they reach the U.S. border.
What they're hoping is that by the end of the year, in the next few months, migrants will say, you know what, it's just not worth me doing this.
The intent is to plug the Darien Gap, a dangerous 60-mile stretch of jungle used by migrants on their way to the U.S.
They've been passing through Panama for years now.
Thousands of Chinese nationals are among the 500,000 migrants who used the Gap last year. Most fly into South America before walking through the Gap, eventually jumping on trains or buses in Mexico. The U.S. is now taking several steps to stop them.
Where are you from? China? China? Ecuador.
Ecuador this month began requiring visas for Chinese migrants. Mexico upped troop levels and began policing the rail yards. And this weekend, for the first time in 6 years, the U.S. deported 116 Chinese nationals back to China. Since the president's crackdown on asylum claims, the number of illegal entries has dropped to its lowest level in 3 years. However, many of those otherwise illegal migrants are now being admitted through legal channels.
I led the development of the root causes strategy.
These moves mark a major departure from Biden's attempt to deter migrants by improving economic conditions in their home countries.
The root causes of migration are not enough. What we've been doing is not necessarily having the results that we want, so yes, let's tighten the grip.
Restricting asylum and enlisting Latin America to help curb illegal immigration is not unlike President Trump asking Guatemala and Mexico to tighten their borders to strengthen ours, and Congress refused to cooperate. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll get a sneak peek of one of the most anticipated TV events of the year, Shark Week. Get ready to sink your teeth into 21 hours of fantastic content. Discovery Channel Shark Week returns Sunday, promising more gills and thrills with host John Cena. Fox caught up with fan favorite experts to tell us what viewers can expect from this year's week-long event. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
That is a big shark right there.
Discovery Channel's Shark Week is back for its 36th year, featuring fan favorite scientists and experts diving deep into the ocean's mysteries to educate and share new discoveries.
You get to feel the excitement, feel the fear, feel the adventure, learn some stuff, all from the comfort of your lounge room. But unlike a scary movie, this is real.
Elite Navy diver and 2009 shark attack survivor Paul DeGelder says filming Sydney Harbor shark invasion was an emotional experience.
I had to go back and dive for the first time in the same place where I was attacked by a bull shark, and and actually look for the bull shark's eye, which I never thought I'd be doing again.
6,000-pound shark follows marine biologist Tom Hurd searching for the fattest great white sharks off the coast of New Zealand.
What started off as a simple let's go and find a big girl turned into a mammoth, if you pardon the pun, a mammoth effort into getting some good hard science down on paper.
Yeah. This is really, really remarkable.
Wildlife biologist Forrest Galante explores the different species in Alien Sharks, Ghosts of Japan.
You're going to go on this incredible journey, this show and tell adventure through the deep sea, the shallow oceans, all of it, to see 17 different species of elasmobranch, which is it's got to be a record for Shark Week. It culminates in finding the rarest of rare, the Japanese angel shark, a species that looks like it was drawn for Avatar. To help find it, preserve it, and conserve that species.
Turn around. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's why I don't go into the ocean. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of brown bear siblings at the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago enjoying some icy treats. They probably need it with all this heat. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.